Thank you for taking the time to watch this recording. The purpose of this video is to explain the middle school math course selection process. We will be using the middle school math course selection process for school year 2022-23 document, and it can be accessed through the QR code or the bit.ly you see on the screen. This document is also available on the lcps.org website under Teaching and Learning Mathematics, as well as the Schoology groups for math contacts, SALTs, 5th grade teachers, and middle school teachers. Our current 5th grade students are going to need an initial math course selection. Teachers will be providing a recommendation for Math 6 or Foundations of Algebra based on data they have collected from observations, assessments students have taken, and student goals. To learn more about these courses, use the QR code or the bit.ly on the screen to view the standard and curriculum framework for each course. The table shown here illustrates the projected mathematics pathways for current 5th grade students, given our current course progression and the new proposed courses that will be introduced in 2023 by VDOE. It is important to note that if the 2023 standards are adopted as proposed, all pathways shown here provide the opportunity for students to enroll in calculus in grade 12. Teachers will have two considerations when making a recommendation for students. The first consideration is the goals and desires to accelerate for students, and the second is based on student data. Teachers will use data from multiple sources in order to make a recommendation. When students are motivated to accelerate in mathematics themselves, it is proven they will be more successful. It is important to determine if they have a desire to accelerate in mathematics. It is also important to consider their goals for high school, thinking about if they are interested in taking AP Calculus or multivariable calculus. As we pointed out earlier, all rising 6th grade students will have access to calculus with the new 2023 standards. So you might ask yourself, why would a student take Foundations of Algebra versus Math 6? If a student is interested in enrolling in a magnet school such as AET, AOS, or TJ, they require students to enroll in Algebra 1 in 8th grade. A typical progression for a student enrolled in Algebra 1 by 8th grade would be Foundations of Algebra in 6th grade, Pre-Algebra in 7th grade, and Algebra 1 in 8th grade. When we think about student goals, we must also think about the data and the information we have on the whole child in order to make an informed recommendation. Teachers can use all available data from their classroom in order to help inform their recommendation. Observations during instruction provide teachers with data that is not often able to be determined by a standardized assessment. During targeted small group instruction, teachers are able to learn if a student has an interest in mathematics. They are also able to learn if a student has a strong number sense. Strong number sense is defined as being able to think flexibly about numbers, not necessarily being able to memorize an algorithm or being fast at mathematics. Formative and summative assessments, coursework, Dreambox data, and other standardized assessments such as MAP data, previous SOL data, COGAT, and the Naglieri can be used to look at the whole child. In some circumstances, after considering a student's goal and data, a parent, guardian, and/or student conference may be necessary to make the best decision for the student. Some students may be interested in accelerating 2 years in mathematics, skipping Math 6, Math 6 SOL, and Foundations of Algebra, Math 7 SOL, in order to access multivariable calculus in high school. Students who wish to enroll in Pre-Algebra, Math 8 SOL, in 6th grade will take an assessment and meet the qualifying score. This assessment will be available to all students who are interested in this mathematics pathway. Interested students will work with their 5th grade teacher to schedule taking this assessment. Students who receive a qualifying score on the assessment will be recommended by their 5th grade teacher for Pre-Algebra, Math 8 SOL, in 6th grade. Any student recommended by their 5th grade teacher may take the Pre-Algebra Readiness Assessment. In addition to those recommended students, any parent, guardian, or student who makes a request will have the opportunity to take the assessment as well. It should be noted that enrollment in Pre-Algebra in 6th grade is not required to apply to magnet schools. Students who take Foundations of Algebra in 6th grade will be eligible to apply. The testing window for this assessment is February 2nd through February 16th. parents and guardians should reach out to their child's fifth grade teacher to request for their child to take this assessment. If a student scores an 82% or higher on the Pre-Algebra Readiness Assessment, the recommendation for the student will be pre-algebra in sixth grade. Scores will be communicated to parents directly on February 25th. From January 31st to February 23rd, all teachers will be making course recommendations for all courses, not just math. On February 25th, a permission click will be sent to parents and guardians for them to acknowledge course recommendations or request a change. If parents request a change, school teams will look at all available data as well as the request to make decisions about courses for students. Current Math 6 students, teachers will determine a course recommendation for each of their students. The recommendation will be for Foundations of Algebra or Pre-Algebra. To learn more about these courses, use the QR code or the bit.ly on the screen to view the standards and curriculum framework for each course. The table shown here illustrates the typical mathematics pathways for our current sixth grade students given our current course progression and the new proposed courses that will be introduced in 2023. As we shared previously, teachers will use student goals and data to help make a recommendation. Once again, here are some questions to consider. As teachers make their recommendations, they use many different data points and observations. It is important for teachers to look at the whole child and remember there are many possible indicators that show a student would be successful in accelerating to pre-algebra. For current Foundations of Algebra students, teachers will determine a course recommendation for Pre-Algebra or Algebra 1. To learn about these courses, use the QR code or the bit.ly on the screen to view the standards and curriculum framework for each course. These images show a typical progression for the current sixth graders in Foundations of Algebra on the left and a typical progression for current seventh graders in Foundations of Algebra on the right. As we shared previously, teachers will use student goals and data to help make a recommendation. If a current seventh grade student is interested in applying to a magnet school, they would need to enroll in Algebra 1 by eighth grade to do so. As teachers are making their recommendation and using data, a MAP score of 235 on the winter map may indicate readiness for Algebra 1. It is important for teachers to look at the whole child and remember that the MAP score is one of many possible indicators that a student would be successful in Algebra 1. If you have any additional questions that your school team is not able to answer by reading the middle school math course selection process for school year 22-23 document, or by watching this video, please reach out to your student's teacher and/or school counselor.